Hey everyone, welcome to Design by Peck. This is my video on changing the water inlet valve on my dishwasher. My dishwasher had a problem where the water was not flowing into it. I found out that it could be one of three general problems. Either there's a problem with the hose, problem with the water inlet valve, or a problem with the float switch. And I took a look at the hose and the water inlet valve, found it was that. This is the repair for that. It took me a lot longer than it should have. I probably spent over an hour doing the repair. I was learning as I was going. If I had to do this again, I could probably do it in about 15 minutes. A professional could probably do it in about 5 minutes. But it's actually pretty simple to do if you just do it the right way. And there's a couple of things I want you to look out for and the hurdles that I ran into when I was doing this. One is when you put the Teflon tape back on the water inlet valve, wrap it around the threads before you get it installed onto any of the hoses or the wire harness or anything, because the axis is critical. So if it's in your hands, like on your lap, it'll be easy to wrap it. The Teflon tape will stay on the threads. Do that first. And the second thing is, I had a real problem with a clamp and a hose. I did not use a sealer to kind of seal or waterproof the hose to the water inlet valve. I ended up changing the clamp, so it had a problem with the clamp and the needle nose wire, so I used a worm clamp. I think it's called a worm clamp. So watch out for those hurdles that I ran into. If you avoid those, it's going to be a fairly simple fix. Have patience. You can do this. There are 3 reasons why dishwashers won't fill with water. One is the water inlet valve, which can be found underneath the dishwasher here. Number 2 is the hose from under the sink, which is, it's hard to see, but there it is right there. The hose, and it goes all the way through, goes right and plugs and screws into the water inlet valve in there. And number 3 is the float, which is the water flow, which is right here. Here, flip the switch on the dishwasher whenever you are working on anything with electricity. Flip the switch. Okay, little valve in the back right there. So it's already off. So this is already, little valve in the back. This is already off because I checked out the hose earlier. But you do a quarter turn clockwise to turn it off. So that's what I did. And I know this is the dishwasher one because it comes out from underneath the sink. And this metal hose is one that snakes all the way around to the dishwasher. So I turn that off first before I go and take a look underneath the dishwasher and disconnect the hose. An easy check is the hose before you buy a part. If you've got a clogged hose, the easiest thing to do is to unscrew the hose from the water inlet valve, put a little cup or a bowl underneath it, and run it, and turn the water on and see if the water runs through. If the water runs through fine, it's supposed to be, I believe, 120 psi, but as long as water is running through fine, it's not going to be the hose. Once you've determined it's not the hose, then you can either, what I did is just bought the water inlet valve, because that is the most likely cause. If that, and which is right here, and if this replacement part doesn't work, then I know it's going to be the float, and I'll go in there and take a look at that right there. But I'm going to start with the water inlet valve. Here we go. Just a quarter turn for these. Hopefully you can see that. Just a quarter turn. It just comes out. And there it is. That's out. This comes out. And there is, in here, there is a technical service manual right in here, which I'm not going to touch, but that's where it is, and that's some insulation there. So now, let's see if we can see this. So I've already kind of disconnected the hose earlier because I already did some investigation, so there is some Teflon tape, so I'll use that to put this back on. So what I did for my hose test is I just disconnected this. I just gently used a vice grip, but didn't squeeze too hard to unscrew this by hand. I kind of pulled it out, put it under a bowl, over a bowl, ran the water to see if it came out. It came out fine. So I figured out it wasn't the hose. So now I'm going to take out the inlet, water inlet valve right here. Hopefully you can see it. Unscrewing that right there with the flathead. This will hopefully come right off. There's also right here a wire harness that needs to get disconnected. Let's see here. A wire harness right here that needs to get disconnected right there. Yeah. And then I'm gonna disconnect this. Then there's a hose on the back side that I'm gonna have to, at that point, take off the water inlet valve, reconnect it to the new one, reconnect the wire harness, and then screw it back on there, all right? So hopefully you guys can see all this. It's a tight squeeze in here. The great thing about this fix though is you do not have to take the dishwasher out. It's all done in place. Tight squeeze, but it's all done in its place. So now, let me remove this. I'll show you guys how I got that done in a second. Take that off right there with needle nose pliers right there. Okay. It was really hard to get this hose off, so I did it off camera. I'd used some pliers and a lot of wrestling with the hose, so I didn't show you. Because I couldn't show you guys before how to disconnect the electrical wire connection, I'm going to show you right now. So on this piece right here, there is a little, kind of like a little lock that you just push gently with your fingers. And when you pull that back, you can pull out the electrical connection. So here's the new one. Here's the connection. And hopefully you can see, you just slide it in. Boom. And then the top there snaps on top of it. So to take it out, I hold back with my thumb there, and I take this and I slide it out like that. To me, it's a two-hand job. Some people might be able to do it with one hand, but boy, it's a lot easier with two, especially when you have access. So now that I've got everything apart, I've got the new water inlet valve. I am now installing the water inlet valve back into the dishwasher. Before I put the electrical connection back on, I am going to reconnect this cable right here. The one that I struggled with last time. I turned off the camera because I didn't want you guys to see how much I struggled taking it off the old inlet connection. So I'm going to get this on all the way to the front, and I did. Now I'm going to... There we go. It's on there, I think. Nice and good. There we go. All right. So as you can see in the video, I clearly did not have it attached properly. I thought this might have been from the hose from the underneath the sink, but it wasn't. It was from that black hose attachment with that clamp. I did a couple things wrong installing that. So what I've done is I replaced it with a worm clamp, or a screw clamp I should say, and then I also added the silicone grease to provide additional waterproofing, and that solved my problem. I'm going to connect the electrical connection first. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's just an easy little snap on. There it is, it's in place. Okay. So I really struggled getting this Teflon tape on because I'd already connected the wire harness and the black hose with the clamp. If I did this ever again, I would definitely put the Teflon tape on while it's in my hand and my lap before I do any installation for the water inlet valve, and it would have been so much easier with the access. You can see here it's taken me a couple of attempts to get that Teflon tape on. I could not do it in one big smooth installation, and it took me several tries. I did finally get it though eventually. So now I'm installing the water inlet valve into the dishwasher on that metal bracket you see right there. There's grooves in there and slots, so it kind of slides in and it kind of sits in place. So it'll hold it as you put that the screw back into the bracket and the water inlet valve. So it's actually pretty easy to do. So now I'm going to reinstall the water inlet hose that comes from underneath the sink into the water or onto the water inlet valve. First I do hand type with my fingers over the Teflon tape coated threads. Then I gently use a vice grip, not squeezing too hard, to make it fairly tight and secure to make sure that there's no leaks when I turn on the water. Alright, back at the dishwasher. Before I put everything back together, I am going to click the power. Let's do normal, hit start, and let's see if water goes in. I hear it. It's a good start. Let's give it a minute, then I'll open it up and check the inside and make sure it's full of water. Alright, this has been running for about a minute. Let's go open up and see what looks like inside. Oh, it's full of water. Fantastic. We got it fixed. So now I'm going to put everything back together down below, down there, and we're done. We got this fixed. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you in a minute. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. As you can see, I struggled a little bit, but at the end of the day, it really wasn't that hard. And if I have to do it again, I think I'm going to do it fairly quickly. Please let me know your comments. Let me know what you think of it. Please like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot, and I would really, really appreciate it. And I will see you at my next video. Thank you.